Spyro Gyra type of an intro. I don't know if you remember who they are. All right, this is time for Climate Control Mechanical Services. You've heard us tell you the phone number. It's the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline. The reason we give it that name is because they sponsor that phone number. How about that? And they also keep us cool when it's hot, which is going to be necessary this weekend, and warm when it's cold, which was necessary last weekend. We got funny weather right now. And in the studio, let's see if I remember everybody's name right. Russ Ledbetter. Good morning, Russ. How you doing?
Good.
John Schulte?
Yes.
Have your name right? Okay, good. And Josh?
Yes,
Josh
sir.
Tiger. All right.
How's it going?
I'm learning your names. Good to see you all. And today it says here we're going to talk about filtration systems, right?
Yeah, air filtration systems.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Great.
Good.
How's everyone in
Do we
Ocala?
need much filtration out there? It looks like pretty clean air compared to like Chicago, New York, L.A. Right?
Well, I have a couple of statistics here. I was just going to read them real quick and then let my text take from there. But just something to consider. It says each person inhales over 3,500 gallons of air each day. Children inhale more particles for their size than adolescents or adults. Polluted air causes 94% of all respiratory problems. More than 31 million Americans have been diagnosed with asthma, about 1/3 of children under 18. Here's a good one. About 40,000 dust mites, a common household allergen, can live in 1 ounce of dust.
Wow.
An estimated 10 to 15% of the entire population is allergic to cat or dog dander, and a person sheds, oh, this is real good right before lunch, a person sheds 700,000 skin flakes per day. So to answer your question, yeah, I think air filtration is very important.
Wow. And if that's true here in this little room, well, I mean, what about the 8 million people in New York City or Miami or things like that, right?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Indoor air pollution is one of the top 5 leading causes of respiratory problems in our homes.
Now, last week when Brandon was here, he was talking about the ultraviolet light and how that kills germs. I don't know, but you tell me, are the dust mites like larger creatures than germs?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So that doesn't kill them. That
Right.
ultraviolet doesn't kill those dust mites.
No, we still need to remove the particulates from the air, which is dust mites, dander,
Wow.
skin flakes, all those wonderful things.
Wow. And so the things that don't get, I guess the germs that we learned about last week that do get through a filtration system are so minute
Right.
that if they're alive, they're basically killed by the light. But the filtration system basically screens all of them out, right?
Absolutely.
Does the dirtier the filter, this is a weird question, but does the dirtier the filter, the better it works? Oh, no.
No, not necessarily.
No, okay.
Opposite effect.
The opposite.
The dirtier the filter, the harder the system has to work.
Ah.
It can actually reduce the efficiency of the system up to 25%
Okay.
just from dirty filters.
Yeah, it would make sense with that, but I was just thinking if there's a lot of dust mites piled on one another, maybe they're stopping the next guy from getting through.
Well, yeah, but your system's working harder.
I
so
gotcha. Okay. All right.
losing efficiency. And
So what do you do? I mean, how do you measure this? How do you know how it fit? Like, if you came to my house right now, could you tell me, oh, Larry, you got a lot of dust mites in here?
No, we don't really look at dust mites, so
Well, I
to
mean-
speak. But basically, we have a questionnaire. We ask things. Does anyone in your house have asthma? Does anyone in your house suffer from COPD? Do you have pets? Do you live on a dirt road? Some houses you can tell.
You know, and it's more than just breathing, too. I mean, you can see it if you're in a dirty house on, like, your Venetian blinds and
Absolutely.
your curtains and things like that, right? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you guys do? I mean, do you... I guess the question is, do you measure it somehow so that you can tell me, oh, yours is working fine, or no? And what about those systems that don't bring the air out of the room? There's systems that just sit in the room. They suck the air and push it right back out. Do they work?
No, because you're only getting a small
don't work.
percentage of the air.
Okay.
I mean, they work on a very small percentage of space, but what we do is basically a whole house filtration system. So all the air that's circulated through the house is filtered.
Is that a special unit that you add to the already existing unit? Oh, it is. Okay.
Pretty much, there's different types of them, different brands. Ones do different things, that we add to the system. Like when we sell a system, we also offer the customer, hey, we can offer you this as well. And one of the brands is like April Airs that we offer.
Okay.
And one of the basic models that we try to push is 2210. It's just a really easy filter to change, and usually it's about 6 months to a year, depending on how they keep their house, really. You know, if people have a really cluttery house, a lot of dust builds up. I mean, that thing's probably going to get changed in 6 months or maybe less time than that. It depends. You know, we look at it and inspect to see how dirty it is, you know. And they also have other ones that, you know, they have electrostatic, you know, charge. So when the system's on and running, anything that goes through it, it's zapping it. And there's just different, you know,
destroying particles. Really?
When he says zapping it, the filter media is negatively charged. The particles get positively charged, and the two charges attract each other. So it actually attracts more pollutants to the filter material. And that's what the electrostatic filter system is.
So this is a separate unit. Where does it go?
Usually in the return duct, you know, maybe under the unit, or, you know, there's a plenum that usually runs beside the air handler, and what it will do is when the air goes down through the chamber, it'll hit that filter, or some cases they don't always have that plenum beside the air handler. It'll be underneath the unit. So anywhere where the air is going to be forced to go up through that coil, it's going to filter it before it goes to that coil.
All right now I have one filter that I change, period. If I had that unit, I'd be changing more than one filter, right?
No, it only usually, like say with this model, I know, you know, listeners can't see it
in Radio Land.
You can't see it, but I mean,
some can see it if you hold it up.
If you look it up, I mean, go on Google and you look up April Air. I mean,
April Air.
April Air, yes, and that's one of the brands that we like to carry, and we like to sell this brand because they're proven and they stand behind their name, and they're a pretty good product.
I think she was a singer with the Dreadlock Bohemians, wasn't she?
Actually, April Air.
But no, it's actually a really good filter, and we really like them, and I think a lot of our consumers like them, and you know, they last, and it's like, you know, this filter might be a little bit more, but I mean, look what you're going to pay in single filters every month or every 3 months, depending on what type of filter you buy.
Right. So the combination between the ultraviolet light and the filtration system, I mean, you've pretty much taken care of any. It almost sounds like the air is cleaner inside your house than it is outside.
Well, it is with the new efficiency in homes. Most homes are airtight. You don't get outside air, so you're recirculating the same air over and over and over again. And here, this is something I found from the American Lung Association. It says poor indoor air quality can cause and contribute to the development of chronic respiratory diseases such as asthma and hypersensitivity pneumonitis. In addition, it can cause headaches, dry eyes, nasal congestion, nausea, and fatigue. I don't know about, I can't speak for everybody here, but this time of year the pollen is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you know, I know a lot of people who wake up every morning with itchy eyes and runny nose.
Oh yeah.
And then more than likely, a big contributor to that is the air quality of inside their homes.
Can you tell by walking in? I mean, can you smell it? Can you tell? Just if you've done it for so long, can you walk into a house? Let me ask you this way. After you've put in a system, you go back a week later, can you tell the difference?
Well, let John answer that one.
Yes, you can.
Really? And what are you noticing?
Less dust on furniture and like on TV screens, stuff like that.
Oh, less dust, really?
Right.
And if you have hardwood floors or tile, especially hardwood, we know that the dust can accumulate pretty quick. So it does actually reduce the need to dust as often as well.
Well, that's worth it right there.
Yeah, that's it.
If you have a question right now, let me give you the phone number, because that's part of what this show is about, is to get information and also have questions answered. The number is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-WOCA, 622-9622. Are a lot of the filtration systems you're talking about, and maybe combine that with all of the other, are they considered accessories, or are they standard?
Accessories.
Okay.
It's not nothing standard. It's not something, hey, the manufacturer says, hey, you need to have this filtration system. They don't. It doesn't void their warranty. It doesn't do anything like that. It actually, with like this, like I was telling you with the April Air, I've seen one stay in a unit for over a year, almost 2.
Right. Nobody
changed it. They pretty much forgot about it, and they went to go look at their coil thinking, hey, this thing's dirty. And they look at it, and it was spotless.
Not dirty at all.
It was just spotless. Looked brand new.
So does the April Air unit, for example, would I be changing my other filter less frequently?
No, you wouldn't have another filter.
Oh, you don't have another filter?
You just have one filter.
I got
you.
Oh, okay. I guess maybe that's why I didn't understand this. So that replaces what I have now.
Exactly, yes. And you're only going to buy one filter, and depending on how you keep your house, you can make it one filter a year or you can make it 2 a year. You know, it just depends.
I guess the number of pets is one factor, right?
Well, a lot of people, I've seen people that have, it depends on what kind of pet they have. I mean, if you got a Chinese...
600,000 fish scales in the air.
If you got a Chinese crescent, then you ain't cleaning up too much pet hair, you know, because they don't really have much, so... You know,
that's true.
It depends on the animal you have.
That's true. Yeah.
Because there's hairless cats. I mean, we've seen people with hairless cats, hairless dogs. I mean,
yeah, but it sounds like we've
seen hairless people.
But what Russ was saying, we have like 7 million flakes of skin or something.
700,000.
Okay, so but that's us.
Yeah, and that's per person. So if you have a family of 4, look. Just hold on, let me do the math.
All right, let's get to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Very good, thank you. Thank God for the warmer weather. Because I'm going to talk about my fireplace. I've got one of those gas fireplaces. It's a see-through two-sided fireplace that you can keep the flue closed and keep all the heat in the house. Is there any air contamination? Something? I mean, they wouldn't say it if it's going to kill you, but is there something that I might have to be aware of on that?
What is the fuel source? Is it gas?
It's natural gas. Yeah.
Carbon monoxide, it really needs a vent.
Well, it's a ventless, gasless gas logs. I've got a alarm system for that. To be careful. Carbon dioxide gauge. But they never said when they install it that you keep your flue closed so you don't lose any heat up the chimney, and keep the glass doors open. And we've been doing that for almost 8 years now. We're still living.
Yeah.
And, evidently, it must be safe, I guess.
They're designed to be safe, but it always is a good idea to have some type of carbon monoxide sensor just in case. You never know.
Yeah, I've got it placed pretty close to the fireplace, and it's never gone off.
And we recommend the same thing with people with gas furnaces.
Yeah.
So, but yes, they are designed to be safe. But as a precaution, it's always a good idea to have the.
Well, it would be just like a gas oven, more or less, wouldn't it? With burners on the top and everything.
Yes, sir.
To some extent. Another quick question: with the cold air we did have recently, rather than putting the pump on because it doesn't work, when I was down to 22 degrees here the other morning, and I know my heat pump's basically worthless, so I went right to my emergency, and of course the heat pump doesn't kick in when you just go straight to emergency, And I wasn't getting a heck of a lot either, so I went back to where the heat pump was working with the emergency, and it seemed to be a little bit better. Does that make any sense?
It makes sense, but need to check, see what size the heat strips are for your emergency heat.
Yeah, you could probably put larger ones in.
Right.
Or more.
Providing the wire size is right.
You'd have to rewire probably if you wanted to get a bigger unit.
Right.
But then again, you're looking at a higher electrical bill.
That's true, but you'd have the heat.
Yeah, but you'd have the heat. But again, you're not using it all that much, And at the same time, I do run the heat strips, and that I put my fireplace on, and I run a fan on one side of it that blows into the room, and that really helps quite. I mean, that's what's heating this house up, And then just put the air on the air conditioning unit, just the air switch to move that warm air around, and it seems to be helping. But all I know is with heat pumps down here, they're really, I don't know. I would never put another one in.
Yeah, you said you had natural gas where you're at, right?
Yeah, put a furnace in. I know. Yeah, that's what I should have done. But
you could actually do both. You could do a heat pump / gas furnace as your backup.
Yeah.
They call it like a dual fuel, I mean, that's something that a lot of people are doing because they don't like, they like the efficiency of the heat pump, but they also like their gas heat too.
Yeah. I was surprised a little bit when I first moved to Florida. I didn't figure the winters were that cold down here, but, when they get it cold enough that, the bird bath is solid ice and the dog's water dish is solid ice out on the porch, I mean, it's cold.
Yeah. Sure.
But, okay, well, thank you for your answers.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, bye now.
Is there less dust and pollutants in the air in the cold temperatures than there is in the warm? It's about the same.
About the same.
Yep.
All right, so that doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's even if if you have a newer home that has carpet in it. I mean, the carpet wears after a while. You get carpet fibers in the air. I mean,
that's true too. Yeah, I've heard that carpet is not such a good thing to have.
No, I mean, you have the particulate matter, plus you have the VOCs for the chemicals of the carpet breaking down, and that's where the UV light would come in. But
yeah,
I prefer not to have carpet personally.
So it's Alice Air, is that what you call it?
April
Air. I knew it was some girl's name. Okay.
Yeah, April Alice.
April Air. Is that the only one? Is that the one?
No.
We have Honeywell too.
Oh, Honeywell. Okay. And do you guys recommend one or another based on what, the size of the house, or?
Well, there's actually a lot of brands. I mean, Trane makes a version, Goodman makes a version, Carrier makes a version, and we kind of looked at everything that was out there as far as affordability for the customer and efficiency, and we decided that April Air was probably our best line to offer as far as efficiency and price.
Right.
As a business where we can make money as well, so that's the brand that we chose.
And we wouldn't know. I mean, the average person, we depend on experts for everything, cars and our health and everything.
True.
Have you ever had a customer or a client that basically was told by his doctor, you got to get a filtration system?
John, you probably have not?
I have never.
No, there are. I mean, there are people with COPD and asthma and things of that nature. I've never witnessed it, but I'm assuming that there have been people that have been told that due to their condition they need to have higher efficiency filtration systems. The hospitals they run on HEPA filters, and they're required because there can only be a certain amount of particulate in the air. So
a HEPA filter?
Yeah, HEPA is, hold on.
High efficient particulate air.
High efficiency particulate air. Yes.
Oh wow.
Basically, the government says that it must remove 99.97% of all particulates greater than 3 microns, 0.3 microns.
And that implies that you can measure it somehow.
Theoretically, I mean, any matter has size.
But the government must come in with some kind of a device and say, well, you pass.
There's actually, we don't offer it yet. I'm looking into it. There is a device that we can put in your home, and we have to look at the marketing aspect of it, but it will measure your indoor air quality, things as VOCs and particulate matter and things of that nature. So it's not something we offer right now. Hopefully within the next 90 days, though, as an additional service, we would basically put this unit in your house. It records data. We can access it via the internet.
Oh, wow.
And we can actually look at it. So it is something that we're thinking about. We just haven't implemented it yet.
And I guess the average homeowner would notice it probably first in their cleaning. I mean,
I would think so.
What's going on in their lungs? I mean, unless they're really sensitive, they might not even notice it. But
and there are, we have, in the Ocala area, we have an older clientele that may start having respiratory problems.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know a few people that have serious asthma, and my goodness, if cleaner air would make their lives better and more comfortable, that would make a lot of sense.
I have heard stories of parents, their kids waking up every day and they have headaches, and these are 5, 6, 7-year-old kids, and sometimes it is due to indoor air quality, whether it be particulate matter or just chemicals in the home.
If we could see it, if we could maybe make a cartoon illustrated animated explanation of what it looks like and kind of exaggerate it, what would we see? Would we see it like coming out, like let's call it blue dots? Would it be coming out and then settling to the ground? Does it kind of circulate at the 6-foot level? Where does it go?
Well, it really depends. It depends what the material is. If it is an organic compound where it is a particulate, but theoretically it would probably float, travel some distance and eventually settle.
Yeah.
That's, you get the dust on the blinds, you get the dust on your floor.
Yeah.
So, but yes, you would see matter floating around.
Yeah, we know a lady who had her dad in the hospital, and she was just upset that there was a vent over his bed, and got a cardboard box and literally duct taped
blocked it off.
Just closed it off because she felt like it was right on him, and in her case it was because he thought it was too cold in there and they couldn't do anything about it. So
we could put a damper in for him. We could damper that system down.
Well, and that might be true for a home. That was a hospital in this case.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I always wondered about? For example, the vents right over on the ceiling over there. Now I can reach it. Most people can't.
Right.
Is there a tool or something you guys have so that people can adjust those vents from the ground?
It's extremely high tech. Not a whole lot of them have them, but it's a ladder.
A ladder? I knew you were going. I can see it.
But something else I just thought about. If you have a home and you do have a lot of matter, dirt, dust, filtration system's one aspect, but over years you're going to have an accumulation of dust and buildup in the ductwork. And one of the things that we offer as well is duct cleaning. We have that's about a $20,000 piece of equipment that we hook into your return duct system, and we actually have a rotating brush, and we will start at the far end and actually rotate through the duct system, and it sucks all the matter out of the ductwork, and it runs it through a HEPA filter so we don't spread it anymore. But something to think about too. If you do have buildup around, a lot of homes you'll see on the ceiling around the vent, you'll see dust bunnies or like a black dusty trail.
Yeah.
If you're seeing that in your home, oh, there's one now. You really ought to consider getting your ducts clean and looking at your filtration system.
Look at those. That's the intake right there. You see the dirt on the edge of it?
We'll hook up the machine right after we're done.
Do you know what? I know this is silly, but I can imagine you guys go to a house if there's little children around, right? And the little child says, "Daddy, who are these guys? They're coming to clean our ducts." I mean, you can just imagine what the little child is thinking, right?
We have a dog. We don't have any ducks. Anyway.
I'm guessing you've heard all those jokes, right? Yeah, I'm guessing. Well, okay, so if we have hopefully made somebody think about the cleanliness of their air and the fact that a filtration system might be for them, what's the first step? Just call you guys?
Just give us a call.
Yeah.
These guys actually have a camera system that they can look up into the ductwork. They can put it up under the air handler, look at the condition of the coil, make sure we don't have a lot of contaminants. But yeah, give us a call. We'll schedule time to come out. We'll take a look. We'll ask you, questions like, do you have asthma problems, COPD? Do you have the pets? Do you have children with allergies? And we'll make recommendations from there.
And just to clarify, I seem to remember one of the previous visits, you were explaining that the filter is really for the air conditioner, not for us. But it sounds like the filtration system is for both.
It's really for both.
It is.
It's really for both.
But is my first understanding correct that if I don't have a filtration system, I just have a filter? That's for the air going in to protect the coils of the air conditioner, right?
Exactly.
Pretty much. Your basic 1-inch filter is really more, in my opinion, more than anything else, is to keep matter off of the coil.
Okay.
And see, a lot of people, they get, mixed up. They'll go out and they'll spend $20 on a filtrate, those 3M, but really what that one does is it's so, all the little things are so close together, it just creates a higher static, which, puts more strain on your motor and everything else, when the air's passing through it.
And that's one of the things we'd look at too. When
That's me. I did that same thing.
Yeah, we'd actually measure.
Causes your unit to run a lot longer too.
Hey, and it seems like it's straining when you put. It almost seems like I want to buy the cheap filter because it seems like it's smoother. I don't know, but more dirt gets through it, I guess, huh? Wow.
Well, that has to do with effective duct design as well. And we do measure static pressure to make sure that the pressure inside the ductwork is where it should be. If you had let's just say you had a 13 SEER model and you went to a 15 SEER with a variable speed air handler, you're pushing more air through the system, we would actually measure static pressure, and we would take that into consideration when we were recommending which filtration system.
Can we talk price? How much is a filtration system?
I've got some basic pricing somewhere here. Hold on. The April Air 2000 series installed is $724.
Wow,
$4,830. The April Air 5000, which is the top of the line, electrostatic HEPA 10 MERV 10 filter, $1,170 installed.
Okay.
And I've seen some of these systems as much as $2,000.
Yeah.
So,
the guy who fixed my car the other day, he at his home needs $7,000 air conditioning put in or something like that in his home. So I'm guessing he's getting everything put in. He's probably getting new ductwork and.
Probably not. He needs to call us.
Really?
Yeah. Let us take a look.
I'll tell you who he is.
Might be able to save him some money.
Off the air, yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for all you do. Give your phone number, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. 352-291. 0185.
All right. And it is written down. If you go to WOCA.com, you'll see the number on the guest list for AM Ocala Live, right at the 1035 slot where it says Climate Control Mechanical Services. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll take a little break and we'll be right back.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. ABC News Now. I'm Karen Chase. A Wild West-like scene played out on the Vegas Strip. A rolling gun battle between a Maserati and an SUV ended when the car slammed into a taxi that burst.